With Battlefield 2042 having an amazing gameplay reveal trailer which grabbed you by the balls and really made you excited about this upcoming Battlefield game in 2021, it's left a lot to be desired within the Battlefield and the FPS community. But should we be worried about it when it releases? Within 2021, we're absolutely blessed with some absolutely enormous titles coming later on this year, whether that's on PlayStation, Xbox, or PC. Of course, the main one, Battlefield 2042, coming in October the 22nd this year, and of course a beta potentially to be played beforehand. But we've also got the likes of Halo Infinite and the new Call of Duty game. Halo Infinite releasing on November 9th, and Call of Duty World War II Vanguard typically releasing around the same time as Halo would. Each of these games are absolutely enormous. In regards to their IPs, they're all massive fan favorites, and they're all going to really take the gaming community by storm when they do release. But with Battlefield 2042 not having a single player campaign, does that put it at a disadvantage? Halo Infinite and Call of Duty World War II Vanguard are both going to have single player campaigns. Halo Infinite's campaign is going to be something that's going to absolutely blow you out of the water, and of course the generic Call of Duty World War II campaign that we're going to receive will always still be a joy for players to play when they pick the game up. And yes, I suppose you can argue that in the last two Battlefield games we've not actually had a proper single player campaign. We've had the addition of war stories, which essentially tells the war stories from different people's perspectives in the wars that it was set in. But within this day and age, a lot of people are just focused on the multiplayer, playing with friends and being on that competitive side, and there is an argument to say that some campaigns on some games are not played anywhere near as much as what the developers thought they might have, and sometimes it can seem like a bit of a waste. That resource could be put into something else within the game. For example, it could be put into the multiplayer, similar to what Battlefield have done this year, and just made an absolutely insane all-out game with loads of different content within multiplayer, and the storyline could be ingrained in the multiplayer. With Call of Duty, it's typically we have three modes. We have campaign, multiplayer, and zombies. Zombies would have its own storyline, the campaign would have its own storyline, and the multiplayer wouldn't really have any lore or storyline, but it would contain the same maps and things from the campaign, so if you played it, you'd be familiar with it. Halo's universe is absolutely huge with massive lore, and the campaign can literally be replayed 10-15 times, and you'll probably find something brand new each time. And each multiplayer map is also the same thing, where a lot of the time it will be replicas from the campaign, but again the lore is still there. And this was the same for previous Battlefields like Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, whereby the campaigns that we would receive and we would see, you would have a lot of the campaign map stemming from those missions. However, some of the details we received in a Battlefield interview which took place a couple of days ago now around the live service and around the actual storyline that we're going to see in Battlefield 2042 was that within the game, essentially the specialists and the worlds around us are going to be tailored and ingrained to match the story. This essentially means that when you load into a multiplayer map, there's going to be secrets hidden around those maps that we've got to essentially try and find, or the descriptions of those maps will contain lore and all of the alliances and governments within the world of Battlefield and tell a story in that way. I don't know exactly how we're going to do this. Potentially there'll be some form of objectives that we've got to do within the game or within these different multiplayer games in order to essentially tell the story, but again, this is yet to be confirmed. Another comment from DICE as well, stating that essentially the lore within multiplayer will grow from game to game, and also the new content and maps that come into the game, the lore will gradually grow and grow and grow until we have a fully blown story there as well. Not to mention that all DLC is free in this game as well, so everyone's going to be able to play it. There's going to be no divides in the player base. Everyone will get to learn and experience the new additions to the lore when they drop. It's going to be so cool. But the main thing about this video is, should the Battlefield community be worried about Battlefield 2042? With there being no single player campaign and only multiplayer side of things, yes, the replay value from a multiplayer perspective is going to be obviously great. There's going to be more content and more details within multiplayer, but it's always great to be able to dive into a story like you would do in Battlefield 4 or Battlefield 3 and learn the lore and experience it in that way. The likes of Call of Duty and Halo this year both having a single player campaign and a fully blown multiplayer, and of course Halo Infinite's multiplayer is going to be completely free as well. I suppose you can say the same with Call of Duty with Warzone, with it being completely free, but Battlefield 2042's game price still stems from $60 to $120. No campaign, only multiplayer. Now there was word from the developers that obviously all content will be free. You'll have the option of a free battle pass or a paid battle pass as well, which contains customization for vehicles, weapons, specialists, and things along those lines. Why would you buy Battlefield for $120 when you can probably pay $30 to $40 for the Halo Infinite campaign and playing the multiplayer for free? Or alternatively, jumping onto Warzone and playing that for free as well. Or even just buying an older Call of Duty game and playing through the campaign and the multiplayer like in Cold War. I think Battlefield 2042 is going to completely grab the community and the gaming industry by storm and force other games such as Call of Duty to actually put some effort into their new game. To be honest, I feel like Halo and Battlefield are going to both do that this year, and I'm really excited to see what they've been working on. From the perspective of a normal person who has obviously a normal job, comes home and wants to spend some time on their game, do they spend $60 to $120 on a game which is just multiplayer and potentially not know anything about the lore anyway? Or would you prefer to do that on a game like Halo where it's completely free to do that on multiplayer, or you can spend a little bit less on the campaign? Let me know in the comments, guys. I'd love to know what you guys' opinions are on this as well, but for me, I feel like Battlefield this year is going to be great, especially if there are videos out there with people explaining the lore, which I'm going to be covering as well. I'm going to be covering lore a lot this year, trying to get everyone up to date on the Battlefield lore, exactly what's happening at what stage, and I think it's going to be so sick, along with general multiplayer gameplays, funny moments and things like that. There's going to be endless amounts of things and ideas that you can do on this new Battlefield game because of just how big the game is going to be and the amount of multiplayer content and opportunity there will be on this game. It's going to be absolutely endless, and I really can't wait for that. But let me know, do you think this is a worry for the Battlefield community? Do you think this is a worry for Battlefield in general? Having no single player campaign, just having a multiplayer, having to compete against the giant that's Call of Duty and Halo this year. I think they'll get away with it, but let me know in the comments. That's going to be it for this video, guys. Bit of a short one today, but I thought I'd bring this to you guys just as a little bit of a topic of discussion on a Saturday. I'm going to have another video coming out tomorrow which goes into detail around the progression system within Battlefield 2042, how it has changed compared to previous years, and yeah, they've done a really good job with it. But guys, I hope you have enjoyed today's video. We'll see you in the next one.